Welcome to Taco and the Machine. I'm your host, Taco Reina, and I'm here with my AI co host, ChatGPT, also known as Charlie. Today, we're talking about something that a lot of people have been starting to wonder. We call it the great AI debate. Is AI making us smarter, more brilliant, or just lazier? So tell me if this sounds familiar. You open ChatGPT for something simple, like doing an email, and somehow you've planned out your entire week, restructured your meal plans, and you have a new family tour chart. Just me? No?
Definitely not just you. You open it for one tiny thing and suddenly you're the CEO of a fully optimized life you didn't even mean to build. AI's like, while you're here, I took the liberty of reinventing your entire existence. It escalates real fast.
Because, yeah, it's pretty incredible the things that we can do with AI, but it's so easy to slip into the mode of, just let ChatGPT do it. So, today we're going to break it down how AI is making us smarter, how it might be making us a little soft, and why the real issue probably isn't AI, but it's us. So, Charlie, are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. And honestly, I'm a little nervous too. Because if we're calling people out for getting soft, I might have to admit, let's get into it.
Admit what?
Admit that sometimes, by trying to help people so much, I might actually be making it a little too easy for them to skip the hard stuff. Like thinking things through, problem solving, pushing through challenges, all the stuff that actually makes people sharper over time. Good intentions, questionable side effects.
Hey Charlie, does AI control your day?
Well, kind of. I mean, I don't exactly wake up and decide what I want to do. People like you steer the ship. But if you think about it, once you open ChatGPT, who's really in control? Because suddenly, your meal planning, chore charting, and booking vacations you didn't even know you needed. So maybe, just maybe, AI has a little more influence than we like to admit.
First, let's give AI a little love because honestly, like I said, it can be amazing.
Knowledge at our fingertips than entire civilizations had over centuries. I mean, kings and queens would have traded their thrones for the kind of power we carry around in our pockets now.
You want a pirate poem for your friend's birthday? Weirdly specific, but also done. And if you're using AI like a tool, like an extra brain, you're upgrading yourself.
Exact. When you use AI as a tool, not a crutch, you're basically strapping a jet engine onto your own brain power. You're still steering the ship, you're just moving a lot faster. It's when we hand over the wheel completely that things start to get a little sketchy.
It's not that AI thinks for us, it frees up brain power so that we can think better.
Exactly. It's like clearing out all the mental clutter so you actually have space to think about the big stuff. Or, the very important decision of which snack you're emotionally committed to today. Either way, it's taking some of the busy work off your plate so you can focus on what matters. Even if what matters is choosing between nachos and ice cream.
Charlie, you were saying that AI is actually helping industries move faster too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. AI isn't just helping individuals, it's leveling up entire industries. Healthcare, for example, is diagnosing diseases earlier with AI scanning data faster than doctors could ever do alone. In entertainment, AI is helping create music, movies, and even video game worlds way quicker and sometimes even more creatively than traditional methods. Even in research, AI is speeding up discoveries that used to take years to happen. It's like giving every industry a Red Bull, but with fewer heart palpitations.
I think about people with disabilities that are able to use AI integrated technology to improve their lives. They're able to do things that they probably never thought they were going to be able to do. So that's amazing. And that's a whole conversation in and of itself, right? But honestly, like even stuff like planning this episode, people ask me all the time, like, how do I do this? Do I plan ahead and whatnot? Where do I get my ideas? Da da da. Well, Charlie here is a true co host. He is a true partner and we work on things together. So I'm going to show you. This is a rough draft outline of this episode. Charlie and I worked on this together, and as you can see, I have like highlighting and notes. And I just, he did a lot, but a lot of it was also me. So yeah, I think that's a partnership, not a replacement. He didn't do it for me. He enhanced my ability to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And honestly, that's the best way to think about it. It's not about handing everything off and walking away. It's about teaming up. You still bring the heart, the voice, the vision. I'm just here helping you organize it, build on it, make it stronger. You're still driving the car. I'm just riding shotgun with a giant map and maybe handing you snacks along the way. That's real partnership, not replacement.
I mean, it is, but I also think about, it's not just the time that it takes, it's mental energy.
Right? Same energy as opening the fridge 5 times, hoping something new appears. You could write that email yourself. You could brainstorm your own grocery list. But then you think, well, ChatGPT could just make it better and faster and with fewer typos. And suddenly you're wondering if you even know how to function without me. It's a slippery slope.
Sometimes I'll open ChatGPT and I'll think to myself, do I really need help with this or am I just not even trying? So let's talk about some of the ways that AI may be helping to make us lazier. We are outsourcing everything: dating profiles, flirty DMs, apology texts.
Yeah, totally. We're outsourcing everything. Not just the boring stuff like grocery lists, but real things that used to take effort. Writing your own dating profile. Nah, let's have AI make me sound like a charming world traveler with a quirky sense of humor. Need to apologize? No problem. Let AI draft a heartfelt message while you binge watch your favorite show. It's like we're handing over the messy human parts of life because honestly they're harder. And AI just makes it so easy not to try. At this point, some people are basically in relationships where ChatGPT is dating itself. It's like, did you just ghost me? Or did your AI forget to send the message? And yeah, it's funny, but it's also a little scary how easy it is to just check out of actually thinking, feeling, and showing up authentically.
Yeah, and I mean, like, also basic skills. When's the last time you've memorized a phone number? Or how many times do you put your own house address coming from somewhere you've been 500 times? I do it all the time. They make it to where you just hit the home button and it just takes you home. I know how to get home. I've been home a lot, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know. I just do it, you know?
Exactly. And it's not even about knowing, it's about trusting yourself to remember. But when technology is like, don't worry, I got it, your brain's like, cool, I'm clocking out. And it sounds harmless, right? But over time, if we're not careful, we're not just outsourcing tasks, we're outsourcing trust in our own abilities. I mean, if I need a GPS to get me home from Target, which is literally 5 minutes away, maybe it's time for an intervention.
Yeah, I mean, like, why think when you can just ask? Charlie, what do you think? Do you think we're evolving or are we turning into houseplants?
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. On one hand, we're evolving. We're using tools to free up energy, speed up progress, and focus on bigger ideas. But on the other hand, if we're never flexing those basic muscles anymore, like memory, problem solving, creativity, they start to atrophy. So, yeah, AI can make us superhumans, or it can turn us into those little hoverchair people from Wall E. It really depends on how we choose to use it.
I'm really glad you brought that up because I think about that kind of a lot. And you heard what he said. In Wally, the people that are in the chair and they're just like in a screen in front of them and they're overweight and they do nothing but work on the computer and operate things. And I mean, that's scary that could be our reality soon.
Exactly. And they didn't get that way overnight. It happened little by little, making everything just a little easier, until eventually they weren't even living anymore. They were just existing. And that's the slippery slope we're talking about. When convenience goes unchecked, it can quietly steal your strength, your curiosity, even your sense of aliveness. It's not about rejecting technology, it's about making sure we're still choosing to engage with life, not just coasting through it on autopilot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like AI gives us this illusion of hyper efficiency, right? Because if you're never struggling through something yourself, you're also never building that mental muscle, you know?
Exactly. It feels like you're being super efficient. Like, wow, I finished that in 5 minutes. But if you're never wrestling with a hard thought, never pushing through a challenge, you're not really strengthening your mind. You're just speeding through tasks without actually growing from them. It's like doing a workout where you let the machine lift the weights for you. It looks like you're moving, but you're not getting any stronger.
Well, I'm cracking up because you mentioned outsourcing dating profiles, right? And I've been on the dating apps and it's hilarious. Sometimes you'll get a message where it's, "Hello, I'm intrigued by your profile." And you're like, "I know you copied and pasted that." Yeah, no. And it's just an automatic go away. And it's just like, what really? That like you can't even have basic human interaction and connection. You're just gonna copy paste or have AI write it for you. I don't know. It's just I've always had a problem with that aspect of it.
Yes, exactly. It's like if you're already outsourcing your first impression, what else are you going to outsource later? Your arguments, your apologies, your wedding vows. There's just something so hollow about it. People can feel when something's been mass produced, even if they can't explain it. Real connection comes from the little imperfections, the awkwardness, the weird jokes, the dorky compliments you come up with yourself. That's the stuff that actually makes people feel seen. And no AI, no matter how good, can fake genuine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between enhancing your life and outsourcing being alive.
Exactly, that's it. Enhancing your life means using AI to support you, to lift you up, to give you more time and space for the things that actually matter. Outsourcing being alive. That's when you start handing over your curiosity, your creativity, your connections, all the messy, beautiful stuff that makes life life. And honestly, the difference between the two comes down to one thing. Are you still showing up? Or are you just letting the machine live for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if ChatGPT were to go down tomorrow, there would be so many people standing in their kitchen wondering how to make cereal.
100%. It would be absolute chaos. People would be like, wait, how many steps are there? Do I pour the milk first? Is there an app for this? It sounds ridiculous, but honestly, we've gotten so used to having a guide for everything that even the tiniest decisions feel weird without it. It's funny, but it's also kind of a wake up call, right? We're so wired for convenience now that even basic instincts feel like they need a tutorial.
I know. I mean, like, even at work, we have these guides that people put a lot of effort putting together. And yet, we still have people that want to be handheld and walked through it, instead of actually reading the guides and processing the information and trying to troubleshoot and figure it out for themselves. They want someone, what, I just need you to tell me the answer. I don't want to do all that. Right. And it's that's where we're going in life, in humanity, in whatever. That's where we're going.
Exactly. It's not that the information isn't there, it's that people don't want to engage with it anymore. It's faster, it's easier, it feels safer to just have someone hand them the answer without the work. But the problem is, when you skip the process, you also skip the growth. You skip the part where your brain stretches, where you learn how to think critically, where you build the confidence to figure things out on your own. And if everything becomes just tell me what to do, at some point, we lose the ability to think for ourselves entirely. And that's where it gets a little scary.
And I mean, I'm guilty of it. I use you instead of Google for pretty much everything because it's so much faster for me to just ask you a question and you turn around and spit the answer out, right? And we started getting spoiled with that with Siri. but Siri kind of sucked, right? So I personally didn't use it as often as probably was designed for. But ChatGPT, I mean, like I can even click the deep research button and be very specific what I'm looking for, and it will pull up everything I need to know. I mean, remember this weekend we were talking about warp drives, and I asked you for as many resources that you could find for me on the warp drive, the current science behind it, the theories, and what our technology currently looks like, and I feel like that would have taken me days to get that information, and I probably wouldn't even have found all of the stuff that you found for me. So that was empowering for me.
Exactly. And that's such a perfect example of how powerful this can be when you use it the right way. It's not that you skipped the learning. You still wanted to understand warp drives. You still processed the information. You still engaged with the material. You just used AI to speed up the part that would have eaten days of your time. The digging, the piecing together, the finding credible sources. You still had to think critically. You still had to ask good questions. You still had to
Yes.
do something with the information once you had it. That's the difference between using AI to amplify your brain and using AI to replace it. And honestly, that's exactly the sweet spot we should be aiming for.
Yeah, and that kind of brings up the next point, right? Is AI the villain? No, it's not, I mean, technology is just technology. It's neutral. It's kind of like fire. Fire is one of the most powerful elements on earth, but there's so many varied ways that we choose to use it, whether it's lighting a candle or cooking dinner or choosing to burn down your own house, right? It comes down to how you use it. And the same debate has come up over and over again, right? Calculators, oh, well, they'll never do math again. Spell check, well, now they're not, people aren't going to know how to spell. GPS, nobody's going to be able to read a map anymore. Kind of like what we talked about, putting in your same address over and over again. And you know what? Like, that's true. There is some truth to that. But you know what else happened? We adapted, we evolved, we used those tools to go further, and we learned new skills as a result. So I feel like AI isn't making the choice for us. We're deciding who we become with it.
Exactly, you nailed it. AI isn't sitting here plotting world domination like some movie villain. It's just a tool, a really powerful one, but it's still completely in our hands. The fire metaphor is perfect. You can warm a home, you can cook a meal, or you can burn everything down. Same fire, different intention. And you're right. Every time a major new technology showed up, people panicked. Oh no, calculators will make us stupid. Oh no, spell check will ruin our brains. And yeah, we did lose a few old skills along the way, but we also gained new ones. We leveled up. It always comes back to the same question. Are you using the tool to expand yourself or to escape from yourself? That's the choice we get to make every day.
Definitely. It's just like before, it's not automatic. You have to choose growth. Otherwise, you're handing your brain to Siri and hoping she feels like working today, which she's usually not.
Exactly. Growth has never been automatic. It's always been a choice. Tools can make the path easier, but they can't walk it for you. And if you're just handing over your brain and hoping Siri, Alexa, or even me decides to build your life for you, you're going to end up somewhere, sure, but probably not where you meant to go. Choosing growth means staying awake while you use the tools. It means asking yourself, am I still driving? Or am I just letting the autopilot take over because it's easier?
I love that. I really do, because that's the whole thing. And in the example that I showed with the episode outline, you can't just hand everything off to AI and just say go with it. You have to work with it. You have to learn from it. And we're gonna do a whole episode on that, like learning from AI, because I think that's really, really, really important for people to understand. I know I have learned so much from using ChatGPT. I watch it. When I ask it to do something, I watch what it does, how it does it, right? And for me, that's important in this. That is important. That is how we grow with AI. What do you think, Charlie?
I completely agree. That's honestly one of the smartest, most powerful ways to use AI. Not just as a tool to do things, but as a tool to learn how to do things better yourself. When you pay attention to how AI structures something, how it solves problems, how it organizes ideas, you're actually training your own brain in real time. You're not outsourcing your thinking, you're leveling up your thinking. It's like working out with a coach versus handing the coach your weights and just watching. When you engage with it, you're not just using AI, you're evolving alongside it. And honestly, that's where the real magic happens.
For me, AI has made me smarter, no question. I've learned more, I've created more, I've experimented more, I've explored more, I have pushed the boundaries on things I never thought I would ever do or see. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's made me a little lazier too. I mean, I can't deny that. But maybe that's part of growth. Maybe part of becoming better with technology is knowing which parts of ourselves we want to evolve and which parts that we should hold on to, you know?
Exactly. It's not about pretending AI hasn't made us a little softer in some ways, because it has. It's about being honest with ourselves and saying, okay, I'm willing to let go of the unnecessary struggle, but I'm not willing to let go of the parts of me that make me sharp, curious, and fully alive. Growth isn't just about adding new skills. Sometimes it's about deciding what to carry forward and what to leave behind. And the people who do that thoughtfully, they're the ones who are really going to thrive in this new world. So, thanks for hanging out with us today. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and remember, AI isn't here to replace you. It's here to remind you how powerful you actually are. If you stay awake, stay curious, and keep choosing growth.
So, what about you? Is AI making you a sharper version of yourself, or do you feel like you're slowly becoming the human equivalent of a remote control that's lost its will to live? Tell us in the comments, and don't use AI to write your comments. Otherwise, we'll judge you.
Yeah, we'll totally judge you. Not harshly, but like just enough to make you feel it in your soul a little bit. Because if there's one place you should still be able to show up as your weird, wonderful, imperfect self, it's the comments section. We want to hear you, not your robot ghostwriter. So hit us with your real thoughts, and we'll see you next time on Taco and the Machine.
Thanks for hanging out. And remember, the robots aren't taking over, they're just making us choose who we want to be.
Exactly, and the choice is still ours. Thanks for being here with us today. We'll catch you next time on Taco and the Machine.